Stop simply going with the flow. You've got to be the flow, okay? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy. I'm a flow state specialist, so I help you feel your best and perform your best. Today we're talking all about conversational mastery, okay? Now, a lot of people, what they do is they don't lead the conversation where they want it to go. They kind of just go with the flow and let the conversation get into this weird zone. Now, you do want to meet people in the middle, okay? What do I mean by that? You want to have this nonsensical randomness about you where you can pull topics out of thin air. It's almost like a magic 8-ball or a Family Guy generator, right? You're just simply going through topics in your head and then you're like, that topic, okay, I'll say that. Oh yeah, I'll say that, okay? And sometimes you sound out of pocket and you speak without a filter, but then you learn from those experiences too, because sometimes they're Freudian slips or certain things which you might consider, or maybe you make a really lame pun and she doesn't get it, or there's a lot of moments in your interaction where you can get flowing again. But it has to come from you generating a very, very fun vibe. One of the laws of King Akurbo is that have so much fun that it's infectious, that it's contagious to others around you, okay? This is very, very important to do. Avoid using crutches in your social dialogue, okay? Get into a conversation just because, okay? Just cause. There's no apparent reason. It's autotelic. You like talking. You like expressing yourself. So you go into the interaction with that in mind, that I'm going to express myself to the best of my ability. Now, you can know someone is on your vibe if you throw out some random shit and they latch onto it, right? They start playing back. They start creating an inside joke with you. There's more of a building of rapport, but also a deep, genuine empathy. You're feeling what they're feeling, and she's feeling what you're feeling. So if you're feeling nervous, she's gonna feel nervous around you. If you're feeling positive, upbeat, she's gonna feel positive and upbeat. What if you're really, really into yourself? She's gonna be really, really into herself. It doesn't work like that, my friend, okay? But if you stay open and present, she's gonna stay open and present with you, okay? Now, this isn't always a go-to rule, okay? Because some people just have bad attention spans, and we live in the day and age where people are just like, hookups and chasing the bag and social media. So the world has changed when it comes down to interacting and socially interacting. I highly recommend you guys get a verified blue check mark, okay? Pay the money, do what you need to do, get meta verified, get that blue check mark, because a lot of women in other countries, specifically, like when I went to Costa Rica, they saw that I had a blue check mark and they were very impressed by that. They didn't know that you could just pay for it and get it, right? So even that, but the thing is, the perception of success leads to success, okay? So people want to perceive you as very high status because you are, okay? And what makes you high status? You have value to give, okay? You're a valuable member of society, but also you're able to zoom out of the social conditioning and be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay neutral to this. I'm not gonna absorb this, and I'm not gonna feed into this by resisting this, right? What a lot of people do is thought forms happen on a mass level, mass thought forms. These global egregores, they affect people, okay? So let's say there's a specific folklore on an island somewhere. If you go to that island, you will experience that folklore simply for the fact that other people are thinking that thing, right, over there. So in a nightclub, what kind of things are people thinking? Horny thoughts, maybe distracted thoughts, confusing thoughts, angry thoughts, jealous thoughts, whatever it is, right? In that environment, you are going off of thought forms. So you have to have this ability to make your mind empty. When you enter a venue, when you enter a nightclub, make your mind completely blank, empty. Take away all that you know. Even if you have all the knowledge of what to do in this club and you've been there thousands of times, start with a beginner's mind. Because when you start with a beginner's mind, it changes the entire dynamic. You move through the space like a ninja more. You see what I'm saying? You're not attached to how you're pressing yourself against the wall, how you're scratching your head in the corner. Like, you don't worry about these little idiosyncrasies and different little nitpicky things anymore. Because you're so free to express yourself. I'm an interdimensional tarantula, okay? I'll say some random shit in the middle of a conversation just because it raises the vibe, it raises the frequency. It creates more expansiveness, more ideas, okay? She said something about China was the first thing, word association. This is why it's so important to practice improv, right? Improv theater is what made me start on this social path, actually. I was very, very shy before I discovered theater and acting, okay? And if you guys are interested to know my story, get my book TPM, okay? TPM, a quick testimonial from TPM right here. It actually was from the spirit world, guys. Like, when I created TPM, I went into a very, very subconscious state, let's just say, okay? And I pulled out the idea from actually getting paranoid, okay? My paranoia created bliss, okay? Which is kind of the topic of pleasure alchemy, if you think about it, right? But anything, any negative emotion can be transmuted into positive. You can see the silver lining in anything, okay? Silver cloud. So the paranoia that I created was that I'm being recorded, I'm being watched by something, okay? I'm being judged by something as I'm being watched by something. And I noticed that restricted my energy. But what if it was Showtime all the time? What if I was on a movie and I just couldn't stop it? You know, it was just there. I would actually become very nonchalant, right? Indifferent towards that camera being there. Almost like you had a camera or video camera following you around like a reality show. Sort of like that, right? I thought of that idea. It started from fear and paranoia. My own anxiety created the scenario. However, I transcended that concept into thinking, what if you were the star of your own movie, right? Biocentrism. What if you were the consciousness, and what if there was only one consciousness, and we were all living through different incarnations, different film reels, different strands of the one, or God. Now that's going very philosophical. That's not really the concept of TPM. I use TPM more so to maneuver yourself and your social matrix to improve your life, to enhance your well-being and so forth, right? It's a personal development book. It's a self-help book. So if you are interested in that, get that. But I'm talking about something deeper beyond TPM, right? I'm talking about the idea of the double slit experiment. Because if you've heard of this, you understand that the way you observe something changes it from particle to wave, okay? Now, if you understand this concept, and you understand that I can just observe this, I can just notice this situation happening, I don't have to react to it, okay? When you recognize this power, the stoic nature, okay, the Zen mode, when you can understand this power, my friends, you will be able to control yourself in any social situation. Because why? Because you won't get triggered by people anymore. Because you'll see everyone around you as your shadow. If you're getting triggered by that, that's your shadow. More shadow work for you. That's fantastic. That's going to improve your life, not make it worse. Those are the little treasures, right, that you need to actually discover more of. Why am I getting so jealous of this person? Why am I suddenly getting so angry about this situation? Like, it's uncalled for. It seems like super reactive, right? It's like a pain body attack. That is something for you to go deeper into. It's not for you to avoid and escape and suppress and deny and stay in this resistance, okay? You want to dissolve your internal resistance. Your chi flow is stopped. Your shakti flow is stopped simply because you've chosen to latch on to a set of beliefs that is keeping you stuck, that's keeping you smaller. But you've got to let yourself expand, transcend your limits. Don't just look at your physical body and be like, this is who I am. Or don't just look at your, bank account and judge yourself like that. Because you are energy, you are consciousness, you are this multidimensional being. And through your imagination, you can get whatever you choose to desire. But it's got to come from this feeling of freedom. I give myself freedom by proxy, by design, okay? and I give other people a secondhand freedom, like secondhand smoke. I give other people secondhand freedom. By being around them, by being so free and open, I am allowing them to do the same around me. And when I do that, it allows other people to get a taste of this medicine by understanding that it is all non-dual. It is all Maya. This is all illusion. The man who knows illusion has already mastered reality. So understand this. Once you really get to the superpower, you know that you're just here to do your dharma, do your work, and show up just like you do your work in the social scenario. Yes, there's certain cues that you might carry on, a lot of baggage from your workplace as you're going out or whatever. Or maybe you haven't just socialized for a really long time, you're a hermit. Like myself, I love being a hermit, I love being alone. But when it comes down to it, it's go time, okay? Like Officer Tud Russell from Time Squad, it's go time, okay? It's that. That's the energy. You want to embody that. Let's get back into this. I understand my Lilith, my Black Moon Lilith in my astrology is that Mars energy, which is associated with Aries, okay? Which means highly sexual, highly competitive, highly aggressive, right? I have to tap into that. I have to tap into that energy, man. It's go time. Officer Tud Russell style. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. If you have any more questions around this, I know I touched on a very few topics here, but if you want to go more in depth, train with me one-on-one, let's get it. Join the Primal Sutra Depths program. Get the Costa Rica retreat recordings. You already know what to do, okay? We're starting the Savage Shaman seminars from next week, okay? Apologies for the break. We're going to be back at it, okay? Let's get it. Os.